What is happening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of GKDR, episode 57. And I am your host this evening, Garrick B. Eaton, and I am joined, of course, as always, by my lovely co-host, Devin Stanford, Brevin the Dude. How the hell are ye?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. Speaking of be eaten, I be eating good tonight. I just had some panda.
Dude, that sounds really rad, but my fucking stupid job didn't pay me on time. Sometimes, brother, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, you know what I started doing? So Venmo gets regulated like a bank now, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
you can do direct deposit through them and use them for a bank. And dude,
That's interesting.
they give you cash back on debit card purchases.
Interesting.
Today I got like $40 back out of nowhere. And I wasn't expecting it because I use them for
That sounds nice.
I use them for like my Cinemark stuff. I use them for my Hulu, and Disney Plus, and like a bunch of other stuff. And like getting
Dude,
gas.
maybe I'll just start doing like my subscriptions through them at least, so like it's charging like my debit card through the subscription, so I'm getting
Well, you have to load it. You have to load it. You have to load it like a bank account.
Yeah. Okay. I get you. I could do that though.
Yeah. And you get cash back on your subs. It's awesome.
That sounds pretty sick.
Yeah, just start doing it. And they give you a cool card too. Like I actually got a cool card. My wallet's upstairs, but I got this like chrome metallic
Shows
card.
This card with all of his information.
No, none of the information is on the front.
I know.
It's one of those cards where it just says MasterCard on it. That's it.
Right?
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet.
Fucking word. No, I actually did not know you could do that through Venmo. I just still use PayPal a lot. I like PayPal. I know people shit on PayPal, but fuck
there's
you,
just
like
no.
PayPal.
At least I don't think there's a PayPal card. But yeah.
Not a debit, not like a debit function. They just have they have credit services. Yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as to the best of my knowledge, I don't know. I use it a lot, but I don't think too hard about it.
Yeah. You know, adult stuff. Speaking of adult things, magic.
Yeah, magic.
Yeah,
Dude,
participated in the new set. I got some of the chase cards. Got myself a Mox Jasper. Got Eye of the Storm. Got Draco Genesis. Those are like some of the 3 big hitters, you know, that came out in the set this weekend. Pulled all of them.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Carry on. But
yeah.
You want to see how big of an asshole
single...
I would look? While you're talking about that, think about how big of an asshole I'm going to look rolling into a game shop in a second.
Oh no. But yeah, no, I pulled every single one of them, and of course they all went straight into my dragon deck because, you know, dragons be dragoning, and this is a dragon set. I also got the newest one of the new precons. There's 5 of them, and I updated it already with a bunch of dragon stuff.
Hello, fellow gamers. Would anybody like to play Warhammer with me?
Dude, if we lived in the same state, I would play Warhammer with you.
Is that fucking?
What is that? Garrick just low-key having a sex toy hanging out on his fucking...
It's one of my wife's little hair doodaddy thingies.
Oh yeah. But yeah, no, just magic work, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, I don't want to cover up the virus logo. That's rude.
I'm wearing a ground control hat right now.
I noticed that. That's a sick hat. I love that hat.
Yeah, my buddy Dylan, who is their manager, gave it to me last time I was there. Gave me a t-shirt too.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Pretty dope. Place is cool. But yeah.
Tonight we're not talking about hats, but we are talking about a franchise first for Diablo, the mixed reception of the Switch 2, and much, much more, because this is Good Kraken's Death Ratio, where we are slashing through the podcast space to be your source for all the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear each and every week. If you want to get ahead of the curve, you can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/goodkrakenpods, where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services wherever you like to watch or listen. You can also help us level up our game by joining the GK community on our Discord channel by clicking the link in the description section below. Then subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Death Ratio and leaving a review there. Devin,
Garrick.
we have some critical hits. And he doesn't even have the soundboard queued up. He's so disappointed in himself.
I don't.
It's fine.
Amos
But we still have some
was
critical
distracting me, if I'm going to be honest.
I did see that you had a dog petting priority. I get you. So I'm gonna just get on right into it. Guys, you guys, as always, please go check out goodkraken.com. That is like your number one stop shop for all of our stuff. It's like we have our own website. Woo! At goodkraken.com. Go check that out. We have merchandise there for you guys. We've got mugs and shirts and I think a hat. Right? Yeah, we have a hat and we also have a hoodie. Yeah, we got some cool shit, and we're brewing up new shit, and it is not going to be whatever Ernell advertises to you. It's just not.
Yeah,
I don't know what
listen to
he's saying, but just listen to me. It's not that. All right, it's not whatever the fuck Ernell's going to say it's going to be. It's just go to the website. If it's not on the website, Ernell's talking out his ass. Okay, you can't believe him when it comes to merchandise at all.
Don't believe him. Death Ratio is the better show of the two.
Absolutely. Honestly, like we're just gonna I'm just gonna double down.
Like, are you really gonna just sit there and listen to somebody talk about their ass the whole time when you're supposed to be getting a movie review? Like, come on.
Yeah. We at least talk about like other cool nerdy shit.
Yeah, we talk about video games, which is a better media platform, movies or video games.
Yeah, it's the
video
number
games.
one form.
I'm wearing
of
a Silent Hill 2
in the
shirt.
World.
Yeah, he's Ernell's a fake gamer, man. He doesn't even play games with his friends.
Gamer. Yeah, dude. Fake gamer, dude. All the guy plays is Call of Duty and Madden, bro.
No, the only game Ernell plays is Hello Kitty Island Adventure. That's it.
2, because that just came out not that long ago. But yeah. Go check us out on goodkraken.com, please, folks. You can also get, as well as our merchandise, you can get all of our latest episodes, including the latest episode of 20,000 Film Under the Sea, where we do our MCU Phase 3 ranking part 2. And we peter out on literally the last film. We didn't throw in Spider-Man Far From Home. So we ranked pretty much.
Ernell wants to put that in Phase 4, which he's just dumb for doing that.
I mean, it's not a Phase 4 movie, but
that's his personal bias. So
yeah, man, why are you just making up stuff? Fake media. So yeah, check that episode out. It's a good one. We have lots of really strong, varying opinions on a lot of these movies.
Still upset about the rankings. I'm still upset about them.
There's a few. I think I'm right there with you, Devin. But if you can hear us talk about that on that episode, you can also go check out episode 163 of the Shipwreck Show. That is ice cream, and of course episode 9 of Songs of the Abyss, which is our D&D podcast. We are cruising right along in our campaign. That is the recorded public release of our one and only live stream we've ever done of that. So if you guys want to get a taste of what that was like, please go check that out.
There might be more of those two in the future, so make sure you're following Songs of the Abyss and in our Discord, because we will definitely talk about that. Whether we stream it on Twitch again or we move over to YouTube, the best place to find out will be in Discord.
Yep. Discord is absolutely the number one place to get news, like as fast as possible. As far as like being involved in community stuff, of course, like that and Patreon, number one stops. So of course, with the announcement of our Patreon, you guys like, we need Patreon. We can subscribe to you on Twitch. I mean, technically, you guys still can. if you want to, we cannot stop you from doing that. And obviously, we would love that support if that's how you choose to support us. But just know that you cannot expect us to be live streaming our podcasts on there anytime soon, because that is something we have decided collectively as GK to no longer do. We are, of course, still going to be doing podcasts. It's just pre-recorded now, so we'll be releasing to you those to you guys on a new regulated schedule, which the weekly schedule is, of course, posted on our Discord, which I'm assuming will also very shortly soon be posted on our Patreon as well. So please check that out. And yeah, of course, we will always be back for gameplay streams. We are working on the fantastic return of Splash Damage. We miss doing it. We know you guys miss us doing it. We're planning on bringing that back as soon as we're able. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, we're still going to live stream special events like Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, motherfucker. So yeah, that's what's new. That's what's new in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. But Devin, you want to know what else is a beautiful view?
The sight of your beautiful little cherry blossom.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're heading right into the line of sight. We're getting into. Oh wait, yeah, okay. I thought I almost jumped the gun there. I was like, "Are we on the minute?" No, I had a brain fart for 2.5 seconds. We're in the line of sight. I did it right. Devin did it right, and then I choked for no reason. We're talking about game releases coming up, folks. And as always, we are giving you the release window of the week that we do around when we do our recording time. So here is what to expect this week in gaming. Of course, this is not all of the release. This is just the majority of the releases we think are prominent. And when I say we, I mean the lovely people at Game Informer. Thank God they're back. Without further ado, on April 8th, starting on April 8th, we have South of Midnight releasing on Xbox Series XS and PC. We have Tiny Garden releasing on Switch and PC, also on April 8th. On April 9th, we have Duck Detective, The Secret Salami, that is getting released on iOS and Android. We have Blue Prince getting released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. That is releasing on April 10th. And I don't know about you, Devin, but I have heard lots of fucking great things in the spheres of the media about this game.
I have heard that Blueprints is the next Balatro in terms of game of the year and probably game of the generation.
Is it the same kind of game? Like as far as like
no,
how you approach it?
No,
I don't know
very,
much about it. Is it?
Very
Are we
different.
Are we just talking sensational potential?
Sensational.
Okay.
And I quote Jason Schreier from Bloomberg, probably one of the most notable video game reviewers and journalists.
Courtney Barrett also, right?
Yep. Game of the generation.
Oh, those strong words.
That is what they said.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That's gonna be on Game Pass too. So fucking heyo. Mm-hmm.
Also, South of Midnight is currently out on Game Pass.
Out on Game Pass. That bad boy is fucking out.
I downloaded it.
Check that shit out. Have
Garrick,
you played it yet?
I started it.
Played it yet?
I started it.
3-word initial impression. Go.
1 word. Fantastic.
Okay. Fantastic. You love to hear it. I'm gonna play that shit like ASAP. So yeah, that is available on Blueprints, available on April 10th. Crashlands 2 is coming out on PC, iOS, and Android, also on April 10th. Then we have Monster Energy Supercross 25. No, that's not 25 of them. It's just for this year. I don't know how long they've been making that fucking game. I think 2000. I want to say like the 2010s is when they started, but that's getting released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC on April 10th. Then we have Pilo and the Hollow Book. I just really love the name of that game. I'm gonna have to look into it based off of that alone. Coming out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Whew. I'm not going to be sad when we stop doing some of these other consoles, because that will just be shorter. That's coming out on April 10th. Then we've got Promise Mascot Agency coming out on PlayStation 5, Series XS, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on April 10th. Then we have Sid Meier's Civilization 3 getting ported to the Quest 3 on April 10th.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be something. I wonder... I feel like if that game does really well, it's going to change things for VR. We'll see.
Mhm.
Just, dude, what if you were like a godly lord and oh my god, I see the potential now.
A godly
You
lord.
could literally, you would just be like a godly lord over your little peons on the thing, and you can fucking zoom them in and pick them up and move them
Oh,
around.
I see what you're
Oh,
saying.
you see, yeah. Oh my god, they might have cooked there. I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't even own a Quest, but I'm now very interested just to see how that plays. I could be ridiculously off base. Anyways, that's coming out April 10th. Star Overdrive is coming out on Switch, also on April 10th, and then the Talos Principle Reawakened is coming out on PlayStation 5, Series XS, and PC April 10th. And that is what we have coming out in the next week in gaming.
Oh, my watermelon juice is gone.
Aww. Like, was it
It's
actually like just watermelon juice, or was it like a water
it was like
sort of
watermelon
thing infused
kiwi.
with watermelon? Oh, I love kiwi so much. It's a delicious fruit and a delicious flavor.
Yeah, it's Panda Express has like all these different like flavors that are really good.
Is it like a refresher type drink? Like in that sort
It's
of
so good.
I enjoy the fuck out of those, dude.
Yeah.
They're like, those are like my go-to. I love I love me a good pink drink. You know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly what it was. It was a good pink drink.
Fuck
But
yeah.
you know what I
I'm gonna have
also
to try
love,
that
Garrick?
shit out. Yeah. What do you love?
I like the meta. I like being a part of it. And I like being the topic of the minute, which is the meta minute.
But we don't like meta, just to be clear. Just to be abundantly clear.
I do like game metas though, because I pay attention to them.
No. We don't like meta, Devin.
Oh yeah. Fuck Facebook.
Fuck that guy. There we go. I was
Yeah,
like, he'll
yeah.
get there. I was like, just to be abundantly clear, fuck meta. But
Yeah.
like our meta's cool. Like video game metas, they're arguing a little
They
bit
can be
tryhard, but
cool. They can be cool.
They can be pretty cool. They can be pretty goddamn cool, right? But we're getting into our meta minute, which is where we are going to be giving you guys the most up to date and relevant news bits. And I'm going to be reading to you.
We're talking about people's bits.
Yeah, we're talking about Blizzard's bits today, actually. As Blizzard reveals Diablo 4 2025 content roadmap, next expansion launches next year. This is coming from Marcus Stewart at, of course, Game Informer, and my name is Garrick. Blizzard has unveiled its 2025 content roadmap for Diablo 4, detailing all the planned changes and additions coming to the 2023 title. The studio has also confirmed the game's next expansion will arrive in 2026. As for this year, though, the game will continue building off last year's Vessel of Hatred expansion with seasonal themes and quests building towards the next expansion. One of the most eyebrow-raising updates comes with two mysterious collaboration IPs. Blizzard isn't revealing what they are, only stating that in a blog post, we're extremely excited to meld the Diablo universe with universes that complement its dark themes. Another noteworthy update is the addition of keyboard and mouse support for console, which arrives this summer. Here is a full rundown of the roadmap, and I'm just going to do my best.
I'm gonna do my best.
Oh my god, I'm never going to live that one down.
Someone's got big naturals on the mind.
Oh, dude, I am gonna do my best to read this fucking rundown quickly. Holy fuck me, Devin. From January to April, which is the current season at the time of this recording for Diablo 4, it is the Witchcraft season. And we get Witchcraft powers, of course, which includes a new quest and reputation board, headhunt activities, occult gems, an earnable Raven pet, new armor, you son of a bitch, which is a permanent addition. Whisper's quality of life update, which is another permanent addition to the game. And moving right along into the April-July season, which launches at the end of April 2025, it is the season titled Belial's Return, which has boss powers as its primary feature, which will include, of course, new quests and reputation board, apparition incursion activity, an earnable feline pet, a new IP collaboration, and the year 2 anniversary. There will also be new layer bosses, which will include Belial, Uravar, and Harbinger, which will be permanent additions to the game. New layer boss quality of life updates, which will be a permanent addition to the game. Something called Reliquaries, which will be a permanent addition to the game. And an update to the season journey. In the later half of the summer, from July to September, we have the season titled Sins of the Herodrum, which will include Herodric powers, of course, including a new quest board and reputation board, dungeon escalation, an earnable unknown pet, new nighttime dungeon activities, which will be a permanent addition. I'm curious about that. Console, keyboard, and mouse support, which will be a permanent addition, of course, and an unannounced permanent content to be added. Then in the capstone of the year from September to December, we have the final season of Infernal Chaos, which will include chaos powers, and of course, quest for reputation, Infernal Horde update, another unknown earnable pet, and a second new IP collab. Then rolling into 2026, dates unknown, we have a new expansion, new ranking system, and the addition of leaderboards. Did I do my best?
Leaderboards. Yeah, like I said, when you and I were kind of like mulling this over a little bit before the show, um, I really want to know what these unannounced permanent contents are, because like, for me, I think what it is like, it doesn't have to be a straight up paladin or sorter board. I think what I really want from the game is I want some sort of holy warrior class, like a holy
That's fair.
class.
Like you feel like the holy damage is missing from the
Yeah, I need some
that aspect.
radiant.
That's fair.
Thing.
We don't really have
like,
I don't think there's any holy
or like
damage.
a cleric
I'm
class,
going to double
anything
check.
like that. Because
Is there
I
holy
think
damage?
the closest thing to that is probably the spirit class.
Yeah, the Spirit Walker.
But it's still like not really there,
Just trying to make sure.
But I don't think there's like a straight up like radiant holy class though. And that's like the big thing for me.
No,
with Diablo.
like from what I'm seeing here, no, there is not a class or damage type specifically labeled holy in Diablo 4 at the current time.
And I feel like the previous games at least had that or alluded to it, right? Because like you got like your crusader, your paladin and stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
think
there's
they're gonna
nothing
try
like
to do
that.
something in that same sort of vein. I mean, dude, even the fucking monks were straight up a holy damage dealer. They had like their own holy damage.
And I think that's what I need. I think that's like what I need in the game.
That's
and
fair.
And
hopefully
because to be honest with you,
announcement sooner, like, like obviously going
Yeah.
into like I hope we get more details on that expansion this year.
Because like in almost, now that I think about it, in almost every game I play, it's different with D&D. D&D, I always broaden my horizons and play way differently. But in like video games specifically, I usually play like some sort of holy class, whether it be a paladin or like crusader or like some angelic form, or like, a summoner or something like that, shit, even my most powerful magic deck I have right now is an angel based deck. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
it's
fair.
like I think that's just like one of my favorite like ways to play things. And I feel like
that's fair. You have a flavor,
disinterest
and
in
you feel like
Diablo
your
has
flavor
because
is missing
that's
in Diablo
absent.
4.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's a bad. I like the game. You know that.
But it's missing that special something to keep you coming back to it.
Exactly. And some of these announcements are pretty cool, but here's what I want to know. How much are they going to be? How much is
So like I know all of the permanent content additions will just be included in updates. Those will be free. The
Mhm.
earnable feline pets, obviously, those are baked into your season passes, right?
Mhm. I don't care
So
about
and
those. I don't care
yeah,
about
right.
pets. I don't
Dude,
give a shit.
but there you might not, but there are a lot of motherfuckers in Diablo that give a
No.
motherfucking fuck about pets. We like the pets. Pets are rad. Um, Seasonal shit is seasonal shit. The stuff that is going to have price tags, and you're going to be like, how much are they going to fucking charge for? Because these motherfuckers charge like $60 for a goddamn mount armor. Is the new IP collabs? We should be worried about the price tags of those. It's really hard for them to price hike the expansion stuff, because that's kind of like a pre-mandated like industry standard. They can't really fluff that there. Whereas these
Mhm.
new IP collabs will more than likely end up being, some sort of microtransaction, almost guaranteed, or it will have a
Mhm.
microtransaction aspect to it. Um, and like that will probably cost, I'm guessing, no less than $30, like gateway for a lot of those. Knowing Blizzard's habits.
Which is insane, dude. They charge
Yeah, I do
way
really
too
think
much.
I want to say like $30, and that's fucking ridiculous.
Didn't they
I would
make
say like
over a
20
billion
is.
dollars their first year in microtransactions?
Oh,
Just in
dude,
Diablo?
hold on. Yeah, they made a fuck ton. Diablo
Yeah, I
4
think it was just
profits.
in Diablo 4 in their first year, they made over $1 billion in microtransactions, which is fucking insane. Like, do they really need to be that expensive if people are buying them? Like, obviously people are buying them, so they don't give a shit. But like, some of those armors are like $25, and I don't think, like, for an outfit, it shouldn't be more than like $5. Well, especially when
Diablo
it
4
has.
has generated over 150 million in revenue from microtransactions, which is
Okay.
15% of the game's total revenue over its 1 billion earned since launch.
Okay. Well, it wasn't just for
So fucking much though,
microtransaction, but still.
but so much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see what how it is. If
Yeah, I
it
think it's going
really
to be a
gets to
good
a
year
point
for
that I'll
Diablo
jump
4
back
fans, of
in,
course.
I'll probably jump back in. I'll probably play. Maybe I should just re-download it. Maybe I should just get the DLC.
Dude,
I don't know. We'll see
dude,
what
yeah,
happens.
dude. Honestly, you should get the DLC. I'd play through Vessel of Hatred with you, bro.
You know
The
what?
Vessel of Hatred was rad.
I'm
Such a
probably
sick
gonna do it this
campaign.
summer. I'm probably gonna do it this summer because
It's a
right
great
now
time.
there's too
Diablo is a
many
great summer
games.
game.
There's
Yep.
too many
Also, too many
games
games
right
in the
now.
spring. Yep. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Well, I think we should move on
Yeah,
to our
absolutely.
our
We've
big
definitely covered that.
subject,
We gotta talk about the
and
thing.
then
The
I we have one
the
more
Nintendo
story.
shaped the Nintendo shaped elephant in the room.
Yeah, we have one more story, but I think we should get to that story after we talk about some other things
Yeah,
first.
yeah. It's something that I thought was really important to include in the wake of what we are going to be talking about, but we're gonna circle back to that in like kind of midway through our conversation. But without further ado, baby, we're in the end game now. Guys, tonight we are talking about the Switch 2. We are talking about the Switch 2, folks. It's been been a week. It's been a week since the Switch 2 has been unveiled, and it's been a roller coaster of a fucking week, man. Wow. I
Hmm.
have I have had some high highs and some low lows over this console in the last few days, brother. I don't know about you. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, so the Nintendo Switch 2 got revealed, and as people can see, I'm actually playing their little reveal trailer. Well, it was already revealed. This is like their overview thing.
Yeah, their
Um,
overview trailer. That's newer. This is a
yeah,
newer
yeah,
trailer.
yeah. I do want to say initial thoughts on this as a showcase, as a direct. Very good direct, I thought. Very good direct. There are some negatives that I have, but there are a lot of positives I do want to point out as well. Um, Switch 2, hardware wise, I like the direction they're going. It's a bigger system. We got bigger Joy-Cons with actual like like curved triggers to be more comfortable in your hand.
The
We
Joy-Cons
have
do look a lot better. I
mhm.
worry about the magnets. It's not
I
the strength of their magnets, it's their longevity.
so interesting thing about that. Um I listened to Tim and Bless and Roger from Kind of Funny. They actually went to the Switch 2 event over in New York, and so they got to
Hmm.
try out the handheld. So the magnetics are actually electronically magnetized. So like you still have to hit a button on it to turn off that electronic magnetize, and then you can release them. Like it's very sturdy. They said it feels like a very high quality piece of equipment. Like it's not flimsy. Where
So
you know how like the Switch Joy-Cons on the slides, you know how
yeah,
can
dude, they
feel
fucking
flimsy.
yeah,
They
dude.
said it this doesn't do that because if you look at it, there's actually
It's
like
like
you
a
can't.
groove. It
And they're
like
showing
fits
it right now.
into it.
They're showing it right now actually in this video. You have to specifically press this button to make it come off because they do not pull off if you try to do it without pressing that button.
Okay.
Um
So
so
okay, so it's like
it's
an electro powered magnet.
yeah. It's actually
Alrighty.
a really strong thing. So that's good that that's something you thought about because Nintendo thought about it too, which is good.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is good. I did like the overall improvements. They looked like they were kind of bigger and meatier. Like
Hmm.
I fucking hate the actual like the original Joy-Cons,
Oh,
man.
I
I
do
hate them.
too. I
I
do
think they
too.
are one of the fucking worst controllers that Nintendo has ever fucking made. And they put
Isn't
out the
it?
Nintendo 64 controller, dude. They're kind of big shit, actually. They're just
I
big shit,
actually,
which
actually,
sucks
I
because
actually
on the
think the
flip
Nintendo
side,
64 controller is still worse just based off of functionality. 100.
functionality is garbage. It's really honestly so
It
bad.
is the
But as far
worst
as like
controller
being
ever.
like a quality product of any form, the fucking Joy-Cons are the worst thing that Nintendo has ever fucking put out. Um, except for maybe Nintendo Labo. What the fuck were you thinking?
Money
But
and kids. Because
well,
think about
but
how
I
many kids
digress.
ruined those parts and the parents had to get replacement pieces
Fucking
for
instantly,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I digress. I digress. But yeah, this was a very interesting showcase. Devin, you were talking about the hardware and just how you were very impressed with it
Yeah.
overall.
I I thought
I just wanted to I put in like my little 2 cents and then can I pass it back to you? Is that okay?
absolutely, absolutely. I do
Okay,
got
cool,
some
cool.
more
I just wanted
hardware
to double
stuff
check.
to go over. Yeah.
What the fuck?
What?
Oh, sorry. Dude, literally, my phone thought I said the hey goo goo and activated and
Hey Google.
it started to talk into my phone.
Yeah.
But it also connected to my earbuds. It did weird shit. Sorry. So it distracted me. But I was actually I feel like the more I've seen from their showcases, then now that we've kind of had like a week to settle in, I was like a little bit like I'll fucking believe it when I see it with like the hardware they were trying to
Hmm.
pitch. But having seen some of these hands-on impressions about just the way the console actually works, not talking about some of the other aspects of the console, which we're going to absolutely fucking get into, but the console as a piece of hardware is it is a significant upgrade to the Switch.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's significant, and I think the biggest part of it too, for me, this is something I've actually always talked about with friends with the original Switch, is why do they not come out with a powered dock? And lo and
Dude, I remember you've
behold,
mentioned that on podcasts, like in like episodes in the past. I remember you've talked about it.
lo and behold, this thing has a powered dock to accelerate the hardware when it's plugged in now. The dude, handheld is now 1080p, 120 hertz handheld. It is an LCD screen, but they said that this LCD screen actually rivals OLEDs, is what they were talking about, which is
Okay.
wild to me. Um, but I was told that it was. I wasn't told. I heard. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. And I'm just gonna have the direct playing in the background for us now. while we talk about all this. Um,
Mhm.
they said that it was just as bright and vibrant as an OLED that they've seen. It's like new screen technology. Which very crystal clear. You can see the screen from very
It
far
did
away
look
very
good.
easily. They said it's not blurry in any way. Um, Now it is a handheld system, and I know you were saying that you didn't like that it was only 256 gigabytes, but let me put this in perspective for you. The base Steam Deck is only 64 gigabytes.
Oh yeah, dude, and I think it's sitting around the same price point at like 400,
I think
right?
it's 350. It's $100 less.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is. You're right. It is 350.
Yeah.
It is 350 for
Yeah.
the lowest tier. I think
Yeah.
like, but I don't think that's like the advertised base model. I think that is like a lower option. I think the $400 model is the like buy the Steam Deck one.
Yeah, I think what the model that they really push now is they have an OLED Steam Deck. And
Yeah,
that's like
there
their
is an upgraded one that I think they pitch
yeah.
more often
Which
now.
I still
Um,
kind of want one, but like I feel like
I feel like I
we'll
still
get
think
into that.
they're hard
We'll
to
get into that.
justify.
Yeah.
But back on the Switch too. The hardware is impressive, right? But did at what fucking cost, my dude?
I think the price is actually appropriate. I expected this to be around
Not for the
450.
console. Actually, I do believe that the price for the console is ridiculously fair. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be devil's advocate there and say $450 for what they're advertising, for what it upgrades, and where it is sitting in the current console market. It's good. Like everyone's just like, but it's more expensive than the base PlayStation, and they're like, yeah, it is, but the base PlayStation is also fucking 5 years old. Do you dinguses? Like the base PlayStation
Also,
5.
also
Like we're
take
well into this console gen, guys.
you can't take a base PlayStation with you out on the road. You can't.
No, like I'm sorry.
That,
Like if it can produce the power that it can produce, and like
mhm,
at the level that it says it can, and with consistency, that is like you're essentially paying a convenience fee, right? An ease
mhm.
of access fee with this console, and to take it or leave it. But like they know their market, and people are going to more than likely end up taking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the community is ridiculously divided, though,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the cost of the games.
Yeah, and like I have Mario Kart World displaying, which looks amazing. And everybody that's gotten to demo this game says it is one of the best games that they've ever played, and it is probably the best Mario Kart ever made, which I feel like it
Oh, I'm
has to
sure it's
be.
gonna be. I'm sure
Um
it's gonna be an amazing
Mario
Mario
Kart
Kart.
8 Deluxe between the Switch and the Wii U sold over 74 million copies. Seventy
That's
four
wild.
million copies. Um, it is in the top five uh most sold games of all time. But you want to know what's funny? It
Damn.
sits at number 5, and you know what it's under?
Hmm.
So I had to look this up. It's under Ark Survival Evolved.
Dude, it's insane to me that people actually unironically play that game. But I digress.
Um, yeah, and $80. But the interesting thing is, Donkey Kong Bonanza, also a brand new title that debuted at the Nintendo Direct, which actually it looks like the Odyssey of Donkey Kong games. You know, the Mario Odyssey of
Oh,
Donkey
yeah,
Kong.
dude, Donkey Kong
Um,
Bonanza actually looks like it's going to be a fantastic entry to the franchise.
and it's been a very long time since we haven't had a 3D Donkey Kong game since the 64. This is long overdue. But the one thing that is interesting is Donkey Kong is only going to be a $70 game. So
Really?
I have
See, I actually didn't know that particular tidbit.
yeah,
Dude, okay,
yeah.
which brings me to the next point. Like, what the hell are we talking about then
Well,
with this $10 price difference between digital and physical? Why is the cartridge $10 more at 90 bucks?
So that isn't even an official announcement yet. That is something that was data mined in like
Okay.
Puerto Rico or some other
So
country.
that's not Nintendo confirmed information.
No, it's not
It's highly
confirmed.
speculative.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
then
highly
I will say that
speculative,
it's
and
highly
that's also
speculative
based on a
information.
that is also based on a completely other currency. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, that's fair. But $80 is still rough, man. Like,
I
do
agree.
we honestly do we feel like the Switch 2 is the console to finally justify like the price hike? Like I felt like and maybe it's just the way the world is these days, but I felt like we hovered at 60 for a long time. Like a
So
long time.
we've been doing $70 games now for about 6 years. Um, which sucks. I'm not as a consumer, it sucks. I'm gonna say that right now. I've never liked paying more than 50. I miss when games were just 50. I
I buy
thought,
less games now.
yeah, same. When games were $50, that was perfect. And $60 felt right too. That was right. When we got into 70, I buy less. It really makes a huge argument for Game Pass, doesn't it? But here's the
It
thing.
really does, dude. I
Nintendo
haven't
did a weird
actually
thing.
actively purchased a video game since December, and it was to pre-order
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Wilds.
And Nintendo did a weird thing too. Um on the previous system where the only game that was $70 was Tears of the Kingdom. That's the only game that they released first party that cost $70 was Tears of the Kingdom. The
That
only
is
one.
true.
So I feel like this might just be a weird Nintendo thing right off the bat. And the other
Of
thing I
course.
think this is speculative. Like I'm speculating this. Like I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. What if the reason why they're charging $80 for Mario Kart is because they actually plan to update the content and give it to you for free if you buy the game instead of making you pay for the expansion pass? I'm saying if. I'm trying to put an
That's a pretty
angel on the
big if,
shoulder
and I definitely, that's a pretty big dude. That's a fucking,
because
that's a pretty goddamn loud angel. Because like knowing Nintendo, you know, they are trying to make their buck. But I did respect the fact that they already announced that as far as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the upgrades will be $10, which is industry standard as of right now. So good for them for not fucking bumping it up.
also if you do have Nintendo expansion pass, which I do, it's kind of a something I forget about, which is why I still have it to tell you the truth. But like,
Is that what Nintendo Online is called now?
it's Nintendo Online Plus expansion is what it's called. Expansion pass is what
Okay.
gives you like access to the N64 library, Game Boy
Yeah,
libraries, and
I'm
stuff like that.
pretty sure I have that.
But if you have that, you actually get the upgrades to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for free. I will say, is it really bad that I really want this console, not for the games that are coming out, but to replay Breath of the Wild at 60 to 120 FPS? Is that because that sounds amazing. That's like we've seen like leaked like um
Oh, people
people
doing
have,
like emulated versions.
yeah, on their PCs at 120 FPS, and it looks fantastic. What I'm really glad that Nintendo actually did take the time to update games and are updating more games. I'm hoping that eventually they realize some of these games are old after they make their buck off of some things. And kind of because PlayStation reversed some of the costs on their games, right? For the free upgrade from, to PS5 and
Yeah.
stuff, right? I'm hoping that
Some are
they could
free,
do.
some cost $10. They kind of left it up to the developers.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they will also change that back a little bit at some point, so we can play other titles as well of updated.
Hmm.
Because like, do you think that Pokemon Scarlet will actually just run? Do you think it'll actually
Ah,
run as
dude.
intended to
Yeah, I feel
now?
like that's got to be the benchmark for the Switch 2, right? Is being able to
Yeah.
be, is honestly, I don't think I'm fucking super far off if I say no. I think that game is just horribly optimized shit.
Because I want to play that game because you've told me it's fun and worth finishing, but I still, even if I've
Dude, it's a
turned it
very
on,
wacky
I
fucking
cannot
Pokemon story.
get
It just
past it, dude.
it just goes really weird, and you're like, what the fuck? And time travel and
I
robots and what the goddamn?
yeah, I just cannot get past how laggy and
It ran
framey
so
and
bad,
texture poppy it is. It is probably
so bad.
like I already know a lot of the third party games are gonna run like poo poo caca on the Switch, so I don't even bother, you know, unless it's like an indie game. Um, but
Yeah, indie games always optimize their
I
shit.
think Pokemon Scarlet in this modern age is one of the worst running games I've ever played. Um,
Dude, its performance
it's
is fucking awful.
and it
It's
never got
really
updated. They
actually
came out
so
with
bad.
content updates and never updated
Dude, they've
the way
had
the game
multiple
runs.
expansions,
Like
multiple
you
expansions to
can't
that
tell
game,
me that
and
that game has too
nah.
much in it for to not update it when games like Tears of the Kingdom exist and run immaculately
Yeah,
on the
dude, which
Switch.
are
You
bigger games, have more depth, more scale, and like
c-
they should
and
maybe
they
make
look
that system
beautiful,
chug.
which I
Yeah.
again still cannot wait to play that game at 60 to 120
Dude, Breath of
FPS.
the
Like
Wild
that's
never lags on
that was a
my
launch.
original
That
Switch.
was a
At launch,
launch
dude.
Switch title, and it is still one of the best looking games on the Switch to this day.
Yeah, man. Like
To this day.
fucking
But
do
like,
better,
here, I
Game
wanna
Freak.
I wanna dive back into this direct because it just showed the game share function where you can actually, if you have a multiplayer game.
Xbox One ass feature.
No. This is actually really cool. So if you have a multiplayer game and there's multiple switches around that can be, 2 to 4 players or whatever, you can actually share that game with everybody that's around you and play on your own handheld device at the same time. So
So if you
like if
got Mario
one
Kart, you can just game share Mario Kart or Mario
at the
Party.
same
That'd
time
be
and
pretty
play
sick.
together. Yeah, you can do that. They advertised it with Mario Party. I'm actually going to bring it back a little bit because there was like a
I
few
would have to.
games
I
that
think I'd like to see the functionality of like
so
how the sharing actually occurs.
yeah, and the other thing, um so you can share a license to a game with somebody, but I think it's for an allotted time. It's only for like 2 weeks at a time, and they have to be physically present with you too for you to do that. So like if let's say you have Pokemon Z to A.
So when you say physically present, was it like within like a certain area, or do you think you could do like within a household?
I think you have to be in the same household.
Okay.
Physically present too. I think that's how it's going to work. I really want, once that comes out, I really want to see how they dive into that, because because I know that you and I already talked about like, hey, let's just do the Switch family plan because it'll be cheaper for us. And I think you
Yeah.
can have up to 4 people. So like I feel like you, Ernell, and I, and we can get like one more homie in on it. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be really cheap and we'll all have access to all this stuff, which is, we should just have a Kraken family, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's the best way to do it.
We haven't done that for some reason all these years that we've been playing Switch, which just means we're stupid, but it is what it is. Um, but
We're thinking of it now.
back into into the Switch too. So they announced that they are doing the GameCube with the expansion pass now. That was like one of the big
Yeah, dude, I
announcements
love
that they
that.
did.
I love that so much. I
So
adored the GameCube, dude.
you
If they
have
do
to have
not
online
fucking
expansions pass.
if
You
they
do
do
have
not
to.
fucking put Starvox Adventures on that bitch, I will shit in the street.
Well, see, you know what's so funny about that is like a lot of people actually in the community hate that game, is what I found out recently.
No, fuck, I love that fucking game.
Yeah,
Star Fox Adventures is rad.
I thought it was really funny when we were talking about that game last time, and I looked it up, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is one of those games that I thought looked way better in
This
my
is
head.
Devin and I are gonna die on our hill. This is our hot take. We like this game.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But my big excitement when I saw that is we got Soul Calibur 2 playable through the GameCube, which actually looked fantastic. It looked really, really good. And that is one of my favorite fighting games. That was actually the fighting game that I honed in on as a child, was Soul Calibur 2, specifically on the GameCube. I owned that game. I played the shit out of it. Link is like one of the most busted characters. That's when they were doing like the console specific like guest characters, you know?
Yeah.
They put
Oh yeah, I do. Okay, I played the fuck out of this one.
Yeah. It and so like I think they had, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had Kratos. No, they did not have Kratos. Oh no, they did Star Wars for Xbox and and PlayStation, if I remember right. Yeah, they did Star Wars, is what I think they did. Does that sound right? Well, Yoda was in the Xbox version, and
dude, I fucking forgot. Oh my god, dude, in 2025, that's such a horrible fucking character name. Fucking Soul Calibur 2, brother. You could play Edge Master.
Valdo, dude. I'm a Valdo player. People hate it. I love it.
I can't remember. There was I'm pretty bad with remembering like character names from fighting games, but
yeah, so they're gonna have that. You're gonna be able
like a fucking buckler and like a sword.
Oh, Sophidia.
Yeah.
Sophidia,
dude. She was awesome.
Yeah, dude, Soul Calibur is my shit. When I tell the boys that like that's a fighting game that I will beat everybody at, I fucking mean it. I'm gonna say this right now, and DJ, I hope you hear this. I'll fucking take you on in Soul Calibur. I'll run rings around you in that 3D space.
Calling you out, DJ.
I will. I will. I own all
him.
of them. I own every single one. That was a. Oh, your light just turned off.
That was really.
Yeah. That but when Soul Calibur 4 came out, it was at a time when I had some roommates and friends were coming over to our house all the time. It got to a point where all my friends stopped playing with me. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't play that game with me anymore. It was like I was too good to play with my friends, but not good enough to play online at the time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I get you. Oh wait, I put the wrong light on, the wrong color. There we go.
But yeah, since it's showing right now on the screen, I want to talk about Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. This is a paid product that should be bundled in with the console.
Even Sony knew not to do that shit, dude.
Yeah, this is literally a tutorial that shows you the ins and outs of the console, how it works, why it works, the internals, all of that.
Astro's
and they are charging
Playroom.
you. They are charging you.
Playroom.
They are charging you. Like, it shows you how the rumble works, how the magnets work, how the mouse controls
work. It's a fucking glorified user manual, folks. Make no mistake.
Yeah, and this is like, to me, this is like one of the biggest mistakes that Nintendo has ever. It's not just insulting; it's flat out disrespectful. And I say this with the most sincere honesty and heart and breath from my full chest. Fuck you, Nintendo, for doing this. Like, straight up, this is just disrespectful to your whole fan base and your community and anybody that you want to bring into your console space.
Yeah,
this is
scummy.
Outrageous and scummy to the max. Like,
you can't fucking figure out how to play our console. You have to pay actual real money for us to fucking actually help you. Dude, I
say this sincerely with love for Nintendo at the same time. Just like if any of my friends did something that pissed me off, fuck you for that, okay?
You want to know what my favorite thing about that stupid thing is, though? Is I just want some content creator to buy it, that they can use it as a tax write-off because it's their whole fucking deal, and stream it stream it and put it on YouTube, and then everybody can just fucking use it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can just fucking watch it, and that's how they can learn how to use the console if they really need to. But also, fuck you, Nintendo. That's trash. That's like one of the trashiest moves you've made in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, back to some good things though. I do like that they still use the SD card format to expand your memory on the console.
I'm glad that they didn't do proprietary. Proprietary would have been that would have pissed me off. Actually, I would have been pissed. I would have been like, you have the fucking audacity, because you can get like a 1 terabyte micro SD for like fucking $20. Like,
well, it's not just a regular micro SD anymore. It is the express one. It's the solid state version.
But you can still get them for very inexpensive you can get compatible SD cards for very inexpensive prices.
I'm gonna go to Amazon. I'm gonna look up how much those are on Amazon real quick. I'm gonna look up micro SD Express. But while I'm doing that, I do want to also talk about the ability that they're going to make it really easy for you to transfer all of your content from the Switch to the Switch 2. I think that's really cool that they're setting that up very well.
Man. I don't want to fucking reinstall all my shit, dude.
Yeah, they're doing a wireless transfer just like how you could do with the PS4 and PS5 when you get it. They're doing that same type of thing. It is awesome.
I hope theirs is better. The PlayStation 4 is like the Sony one's kind of shit.
Yeah. I do like that they are making it backwards compatible with like pretty much every Nintendo major title.
Yeah.
So I just looked it up. A 512 gigabyte micro SD Express. That's SSD XC, which is what they advertised. $32, 512 gigabyte.
Yeah, and they regularly go on sale. It is an item that goes on sale regularly.
They have a 2 terabyte SanDisk Extreme, like the fastest, best one you can get. It is $190, but you could have a 2 terabyte console. So, and I think 2
terabyte Switch is such overkill.
It is, but if you have a lot of games, and that's like your console on the go, which
if it's
to be
real,
this might be my handheld console. Like this as
if I can
Garrick
fucking
knows,
get a hold of it,
I'm gonna start touring again. So like I still have my Switch right now, which is what I used all the time when I went on tour back in the day, and you know what I plan to still use. But when I get the Switch 2, I'm gonna do it again, you know. But I like
dude,
we gotta talk.
If you can pre-order it, man, like if you're even gonna be able to get one.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get one for like 4 to 6 months, if I'm gonna be honest with you, just regardless.
Yeah, dude, I think I'm gonna miss the launch window just because of all the fucking bullshit that's going on with pre-orders.
Yeah, and tariffs, which we'll get into that here in just a second. But on the hardware side, I do like that they added a USB-C port on the very top of the console for charging, so you no longer have to do the undercharge anymore, which is going to make it a lot more easier for me to be a lazy piece of shit and like rest the console on my chest
dude, I fucking hated bending the cord. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Also, interesting feature is when we all found out about that C button now on the console. It is a chat button. Nintendo is finally integrating their own chat space on the console that they've always said that they would never do, but we're finally going to have it. They're not afraid anymore. They're so not afraid anymore.
Feelings of it, dude.
I know, this is the funny thing. They're so not afraid anymore. They came out with their own camera that you can plug into the console when it's docked, which I think is hilarious, because how many people are going to be showing their dingalings doing the helicopter on those Mario Party games? Like, here's
dude, I was just thinking about like the verbal abuse that's going to be happening in these chats now, because full grown adults harass children and fucking while they're playing Nintendo
So
games.
I have
I didn't
a
even think
theory.
about the video fucking repercussions.
I have a theory to
Oh
this.
my
I have a
god.
theory. I think you're gonna have to be friends with people to actually enter these video chats. I think you're gonna have to be Nintendo's
Yeah,
Switch friends.
exclusively. Yes, which
Yeah.
is honestly not the easiest process of for
No.
requesting.
It's not. You can't just send somebody a friend
You're not
request in a
just
game.
doing
You have
that
to
on
get
the
their whole
random. No.
ID.
It's like a fucking
Yeah.
26-digit code you got to fucking send to him, a guy.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah. Um, I know we're kind of bouncing back and forth here on subjects. One thing I thought was really cool with nin- the uh the backwards compatibility and the upgrades to the Zelda games is they're putting in Zelda notes on the Nintendo Switch app. So like you're actually going to get the map of the game with all the icons and everything, like where the Korok seeds are, all that stuff on your phone now with the enhanced editions of Zelda. And they're going to be doing
Well,
that
that's
with
kind of
other
neat.
games as well. So like
I love
it's
integration like that.
it's going to be a companion app that actually matters. Last time I remember there being a companion map that really mattered, that worked really
Red Dead
well and
Redemption
felt really good.
2.
No, actually, for me, it was Battlefield 4. So they have this whole kernel system in it where you could use a tablet or a phone, and you could be the commander and oversee the whole battle for your team. They only had one
Mm.
commander for each team, and you could put in supply drops, call in airstrikes, you can move to squads and do voice chat with different squads to like discuss tactics. That was the coolest integration I've ever seen with a game before.
That sounds pretty sick. I used the Red Dead Redemption 2 companion map so
Yeah.
fucking much.
Yeah.
It was actually ridiculously broken. They ended up changing it ultimately, but it was really fucking broken if you use the app when Red Dead Online got launched because you could see where other players were on the map in real fucking time.
That is pretty messed up. Dude, you know what game looks amazing?
Which one?
Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, it does. I'm excited for that game.
Big thing. They are promising quality mode docked 4K 60 FPS with HDR. They are promising that at launch.
Dude, that's wild. And they also said that this game was actually going to have a unique gameplay like functionality feature to it too, which will be I don't know if it's the first or currently the only game that I'm aware of that is going to take advantage of the Joy-Con 2 mouse functionality.
It is not the only game, but it is probably the most impressive one because with it using the mouse functionality, they're going to be saying that you're going to be able to actually play like a first person shooter as you would on your PC, which
We'll see about
I'm
that.
still hesitant because of the size of the Switch 2. Do you think that they're going to be coming out
they're
with
gonna 100%. What I was just gonna say, dude. You know they are gonna come out with a priority periphery that functions as their own. We are gonna have Nintendo first party mice by the fucking end of fucking 2025.
Also, the other thing, are we gonna get Nintendo first party like TV trays for like to play out like because most people are gonna have these docked in their living rooms, you know? So like
yeah, dude.
are like I mean I could play it at my desk docked and do the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and I can still get the 120 FPS because my monitors go up to 165, no problem. But I'm interested to see how that works because if this console really does 4K 60, I want to play these games 4K 60 on my fucking big screen TV in my living room.
Absolutely.
Like that sounds fantastic.
I mean, you got to
They're
play
sa-
it at like the best like resolution and frame rate you
Dude,
can, right?
yeah. Another thing is the handheld console itself, handheld has HDR. Handheld has
I did
HDR.
see that they HDR
Yeah.
capability built into the screen. They
And they
also
said
said that like the new screen is like I think it is almost double the pixels.
yeah, like this is, it may be an LCD screen, but this is one of the best ones that like has been advertised ever. Um Now, one thing I thought that was weird is that the microphone is in the console itself. They don't really have a headset or anything, which I'm sure there will be like third party companies that design headsets specifically for the Switch 2,
Oh,
you
I'm
know.
sure, but you know that in console mic is going to be shit.
Yeah. And I think the way that video chat with the camera is going to work is going to be it's going to be accelerated by um like, you know, NVIDIA broadcasts or DLSS and stuff like that. Same with a lot of these games that we're seeing. What we're seeing right now, Elden Ring is going to be on the Switch now. Elden Ring,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I don't
It's
think
getting a
it's
lot of it's actually getting a ton of the biggest AAA games. They not only they're getting Elden Ring, they're also getting Cyberpunk 2077 like Ultimate Edition.
yeah. Fun thing about that, I heard it in some podcasts, specifically Roger from Kind of Funny. He said he got no, it was Blessing. It was Blessing Adeoye Jr. He said he got to try Cyberpunk handheld. The game is running 1080p handheld at 40 frames per second, which I think handheld, that's actually not that bad. I think 40
Uh,
frames handheld is pretty
If
good.
I remember right, I said I would accept 40 frames per second for handheld because it's not a big boost, but it does make a visual
Dude,
difference.
for a game like that though on the Switch, wild. Absolutely wild. Um, you know, and the story that's going around right now, did you know that it only took CD Projekt Red 7 weeks to port that to the Switch 2? 7 weeks. That's an insane turnaround right there for
Wonder what
that
that means.
development
I wonder if that's a
process.
good thing or a bad thing.
Well, from what people said, it runs great.
Hell yeah, because
That's the general
that's a pretty
consensus.
intensive game, even
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. I mean, it runs perfect on my Xbox Series X. That's where I play it.
Oh yeah, I mean they put
Um,
a ton of work into it, but like
yeah.
as far as it just being like a pretty like graphically intense game, it is.
Mm, mm. Um, yeah, and so I'm definitely interested in this console. I definitely want it because I like new shiny things. They are it is announced that you can actually use any webcam, any USB related camera with the Switch. So
That's cool.
it does have to plug in USB-C, but you can do that. A lot of the
Oh
cameras I
yes.
use are USB-C. The one I'm using right now is the Logitech Stream Cam. That's a USB-C camera. I could technically use that with the Switch if I wanted to. So if you have
Oh yeah.
nicer
Okay, that's
cameras
cool.
like some of us, you can use those, but it has to be a USB-C one. That's the caveat. And I think there's already a third party one. I can't remember who it is, but I saw one floating around where they made it look like a piranha from Mario, and it's apparently only going to be like
Oh,
34
dude, I'm
$35.
sure there's gonna be some cool. They're gonna do some collaborative stuff like that because Nintendo always does like
Yeah.
things like that when it comes to like their peripheries and
Mhm.
accessories.
I will say though, I don't know if I'm really going to use that stuff at all. I think
Oh,
I'm still
dude,
just
that
going
is a
to continue
completely
to use
ignored feature for
Discord.
me.
Yeah.
I'm never ever gonna touch it.
Like,
Ever, ever, ever,
yeah.
ever, ever, ever,
The
ever.
it'll make me more excited if they do Discord integration like the other consoles. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
That should have been. But goddamn, fucking Nintendo's got to do their own
Hmm.
thing, right? Like that's literally just them.
Yeah.
Got to do their
Yeah.
own fucking thing.
Um yeah, I don't know if you notice, so we are getting Borderlands 4 launching same day and date as it does on everything else on the Switch too.
I did see that, which is it's gonna be sick. Dude, I think as far as what's gonna be on the console, like ultimately, third party game wise, is gonna be. I think this console's gonna have. It has a lot more third party potential for AAA
Hmm.
games. than the Switch did because it had so many limitations, um, and people didn't want to develop around its limitations. So we're seeing kind of the same people. We do see similar talk with how people sometimes feel about the Series S, and so I think this being a
I
much
think
more
that's bullshit with the
powerful
Series S
console.
though. I think
I
that's
do think it
bullshit.
is. That's why I said some people and phrased it that way because I do personally think that is bullshit. Because
Hmm.
also going back to Breath of the Wild, right, and how it runs perfectly. Indiana Jones, you have no
Hmm.
excuse. Like that game runs
Yeah.
fantastically and it looks
Yeah.
amazing. Like
Yeah.
like fucking be ashamed, developers. Um,
Hmm.
but I just think that this console is going to have a lot more AAA third party potential rather than just being like a strictly Nintendo machine. Obviously, Nintendo is going to prioritize their stuff over everything else when it
Hmm.
comes to making that, like advertising their games and launching and like what they put like in your face when they market these
Hmm.
consoles. It's going to be their stuff first, third party fucking like last. Um, but I
Yeah.
do think it has a much better potential there. Um, Devin, I want to ask, do we want to read this article?
Yeah, yeah. And then after that we top off on a couple other things I'm interested that they're doing. But I think in today's in today's world, um you cannot keep politics out of video games because we
Keep
saw a lot
politics,
of things
keep
happen.
politics out of gaming. No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
we
I'm
can't.
sorry, it's impossible
We
now.
can't because the fat, disgusting orange
There's been
man is
tariffs
ruining
that
our
have been
country.
implemented, and yeah, now that's going to be affecting the price of electronics and media and software and everything that you consume as a consumer is going to get more expensive because of these things now.
Pre-orders for the Switch 2
Um,
have already been delayed in multiple countries because
yep,
of one man's actions.
yep. I think the only place they're not really delayed at is Japan at this point. Um,
UK got theirs. UK got theirs.
Yep, yep. So with that being said, this is an article that Garrick got for us. Analysts predict new Switch 2 price in wake of Trump tariffs. This is from James Ratcliffe over at Game Rant. My name is Devin. The
Correct.
starting price of the Nintendo Switch 2 could spike by approximately 20% following the Trump administration's latest tariff wave, according to gaming industry analysts. The analysts predict that the MSRP of the Switch 2 could jump from $449 to $929 just for the base console, with another $50 tacked on for the Mario Kart World Switch 2 bundle. I feel like Nintendo should eat a little bit of that if they have to, and maybe do like a 500 base to a 550. That's just me. But on April 4th, 2 days after the Switch 2's
Yeah,
dedicated
it's all
Nintendo
bad.
Direct broadcast aired, Nintendo announced a delay in Switch 2 pre-orders in the US and multiple other countries from April 9th to an undetermined date. The delay was due to the Trump administration tariffs on goods in various nations such as China, Japan, Vietnam, and Cambodia. At the time of writing, a 104% tariff on China is expected to take effect on April 9th
Oh
at
boy.
12:01 a.m. Eastern. While pre-orders will remain on hold in the US, other nations such as the UK and Australia have already taken Switch 2 pre-orders. Nintendo reassured US-based customers that the console's June 5th release date remains unchanged. Although the Switch 2's release date remains locked down, the console's price may change as a result of the Trump tariffs. According to the DFC intelligence analyst firm, the corroborated by comicbook.com, the Nintendo Switch 2's initial price point of $449 could spike up to $529, an $80 markup to make up for the tariffs imposed by the US government. The $529 dollar predicted price point for the base console could similarly affect the Mario Kart World bundle, which would be priced closer to $579 if the same $80 increase is applied. Analysts predict a 20% price hike on the, yeah, we saw that already. DFC also predicted that the Switch 2 could sell fewer consoles than initially projected, though only slightly. DFC's call of the 17 million units sold within the first 2 years was adjusted to 15 million. The analyst firm predicted that third-party games like Cyberpunk 2077 and the Dustbloods, which we haven't talked about that yet, could help the Switch 2 become one of the fastest-selling consoles. In February 2025, Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa stated that the company has diversified its manufacturing portfolio since the first Trump administration's time in office, with other nations like Cambodia and Vietnam being the focal points. As it stands, the Trump tariffs placed on Cambodia and Vietnam are at 49% and 46%, despite ongoing negotiations between Vietnam and the US. Additionally, the Switch 2's pre-order window in Canada was delayed to line up with the US, though the new dates remain unknown. Canada, not Cambodia. My mistake. It remains to be seen how long these tariffs will remain and how the industry will respond. So, with that being said, I do have an update for our listeners and watchers. As of today, on April 9th, Trump did announce that he was putting the tariffs on hold for everything else that was established except for China. Except for China. So everything in this article besides the Chinese tariffs,
It's
he
now up in the
actually put them
air.
on. Yep, for 90 days actually, which is weird because if you think about it, that's literally up until the release of the Switch 2, which is
Quite almost
weird.
exactly, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is fucking. I hate trade
Just
war
don't do it,
bullshit,
dude. You're gonna
dude.
destroy the
It's
world
trade
economy.
war.
Like, what the
It's
fuck are you
trade war
doing?
bullshit, man.
Yeah, and he's not even a good business person. You know how many of his businesses went bankrupt? Like all of them.
Fucking bankrupt a
Every single
casino,
one.
you asshole.
Yeah. Um yeah, I hate that this is happening. I hate this is the world that we live in right now.
Yeah,
Of
like
course,
it's
of course, I want to keep politics out of my video games, but I also think that my video games deserve to have a voice on what they want to achieve. And if that's something you don't like, and you can't accept that things can be different for people, and it doesn't have to be your fucking white nationalist Christian stupid ass agenda, then fuck off and sit on a fork. Um,
yeah, man. Dude,
or we can meet up personally too. Like, dude,
fisticuffs.
you can find my social media. Like, I ain't scared. Um,
Dude, I'm
but
just if I hate that this is like even something that like is being tossed around. Like you guys fucked around and now you're finding out. Like nothing is safe. Your hobbies aren't going to be safe. Like this is going to be a
Mhm.
fucking like if things go as trajected, it's not going to go great. It's not going to go great. Your hobbies are going to be impacted. Everything is currently already else being impacted. Like we fucking see what's happening to
Listen,
gas prices and goddamn groceries.
I work in logistics right now. um this could very well affect my job, because my job
Oh, good.
revolves
Mine
around
too. I work in
consumerism.
education.
My
I work in
job,
education.
yeah, my job revolves around consumer products. So if less money is being spent, that means there's going to be less work for me to do,
Yep.
realistically. Less products coming from other countries and stuff like that. Before I was doing this, I was doing um produce sales. I saw how that affect. Do you know that most of the produce we get comes from Canada and Mexico? Did you know that?
Oh, absolutely I did.
I mean,
Absolutely
like,
I
we
did.
we grow our oranges, we grow our apples. Of course, we have, like, veggies and stuff that are grown, but a
But
good
most
portion,
shit
like
comes from
all
somewhere
your
else.
avocados, all your green onions, all that stuff comes from Mexico. It does, all of it. Like 95% of those greens and like leaf based
We
veggies.
make a fraction of our own shit here. A
Yep.
fraction of a fraction of our own shit. We have
Yeah.
such a poor infrastructure to make our own stuff because it's fundamentally too expensive to make those things here, which is why we outsource them in other
Hmm.
countries. Y'all
Hmm.
don't understand nothing about nothing, and now it is directly impacting our goddamn hobbies even. For fuck's sake,
Yeah.
usually hobbies
Yeah.
get cheaper. when recessions happen, but nope, not now.
Not this time, not with the tariffs being imposed. Um uh but yeah, we had to get that story out there, and with also the current
It
global
sucks,
climate
but
update of
it's
today.
a reality.
Excuse me.
Can't ignore facts. Like
Had
you
to
can't
sneeze there.
ignore facts. And like,
Um
make no mistake, the prediction count going down from
Low end.
17 to 15 million is fucking insanity.
Yeah.
2 million less units sold is nuts.
Yep. Now here's with us saying that and stating that, FDT all day. I do want to get back into a couple other good things. Kind of going back into the peripherals of this unit. You see that new Pro controller that they show? You see that new Pro controller?
Yeah, but the fact that I can still use my old one, I like it. It doesn't entice me in the way that I want
That's
it,
what
because
I was
I
gonna
already
say.
like the original one so much. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that they've made it. It's updated. If they kept the quality of the original Pro controller in line, I'm sure it will be a fantastic product. But like, Nintendo, thank you for actually just making that peripheral like backwards compatible, because like I've said it once, I'm gonna say it a million times. That is one of my favorite controllers ever.
I do like that the new one is kind of like their elite version, and it's like the cheapest elite version on the market right now, because it does have
That
back
is true.
paddles and stuff. It is going to be an $80 price point for that. Do you
I think
know
that's how much
if
the regular Pro was, right? Or was no? It might have been 70.
No, it was 60. It's 60.
Was it 60? Damn! And the fucking
Yeah.
Joy-Cons were 80. What the fuck?
Well, the new Joy-Cons now, this is what the next conversation I was going to get. The new ones are $90.
Oh my god, dude! I swear to God, if your shit drifts at all, Nintendo, you better
So-
have that figured the fuck out.
There is new technology. They did announce that they got new technology. The sticks also have wider bases to them, so there's going to be more dead zone.
It's less, it's less grind.
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure they had to learn from their lesson, because there was a civil lawsuit that was over that resulted in them having to fix everybody's Joy-Cons for free, which that
And
could
they
not
still
be
have
cheap.
to do. They still have to do.
Which actually I should figure that out, because my Joy-Cons need to get fixed.
Dude,
Actually,
you literally, it was actually really easy. I just mailed mine in. They just mailed them back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do that then. I'm gonna send them in.
Think it
Because
took,
I
like,
was
3
thinking
weeks,
about I was thinking about sending mine in. Fixing them myself, because I did that with my Xbox controller, because the Xbox controller does have a warranty time. I did that with mine, and I replaced the sticks and stuff, and it works perfectly. Like, actually, a good friend of the show, Josh, he plays my Xbox all the time, and that's the controller he uses, because my special controllers are in here with me. Like, I love
Oh,
this
yeah,
is my
yeah,
favorite.
yeah,
This is
I
my
get you.
favorite controller right
get
here.
you.
This is the best one.
Like
This is the best one.
My Helldivers 2 controller.
Yeah.
I get you.
The best.
My custom, and then I've got like my custom Xbox controller. Like, I get you. Like with my
So yeah,
grippies.
this
and,
is like my
grippies.
custom equivalent. This is my
get you.
custom equivalent right here, and then my Starfield one.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
This is my first ever collab controller, actually. My Helldivers.
Oh, really? Nice,
Yep.
nice. Actually, I think this is too. Anyways, fucking sick. Final Fantasy VII Remake playable on the Switch too. That's actually awesome.
Like I said, huge third-party AAA potential.
Yep. A perfect game for the console, if you ask me too. Do we know if the old Joy-Cons are working on the Switch too?
I don't know. I could see it possibly being a feature, like via like just like a Bluetooth sort of setting, like as for like maybe for like party games. But just because there's new buttons, I could also see maybe not. It could lack functionality that way because of it.
I'm gonna look it up.
But as you're looking that up, is there anything else you would like to?
They do. They work wirelessly. So you can
exactly like I said.
So if you have Switch 1 Joy-Cons, you can use them on the Switch 2. They'll still work the same. They obviously can't go onto the console,
Yeah, they
but
won't
you could
dock,
still
but
use them separately as well as in their controller form. So that's actually
okay,
a cool
that's not
feature
bad.
because I know Garrick
Yeah,
and
I
I
appreciate
are
that.
not getting rid of our Joy-Cons. We're not going to get
No.
rid of them.
Yeah,
So
fuck no. I'm not
cool,
getting rid
cool,
of my
cool.
Switch at all.
Um,
Oh yeah,
but
but no,
yeah,
I wanted to ask, was there any other like last minute things before I ask our final question before we tie it off here?
um, give me
Oh,
a. I think if there's something I really want from the Switch 2, um, and this is just my own personal bias.
mhm.
Do a true, um, actually, I have a follow up question for you. Give me
Twilight
Zelda
Princess.
Twilight Princess remake.
Yep, yep,
Not just a
yep.
remaster, an actual remake that
Like a
shows
full
off the
remake.
console's potential. That's what I want
That'd be
personally.
kind of rad. I think if any of those has the potential to be good as a remake, like a full remake, not just like an HD remaster, like Skyward Sword, or basically all of them, right? It would
Mhm.
be that one.
I have a theory. The reason why it's not included with the GameCube expansion pass is because it's going
Because
to
it
be
might be
on.
something they're working on.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but uh, how does From Software's new Switch 2 exclusive title Duskbloods make you feel? Because we have the trailer playing
Nothing
right
at all.
now.
Nothing at all, actually.
Yeah.
It made me feel and I don't know, I like looked at it. Dude, I was sitting there watching the stream, right? And everybody in the chat was just like, Bloodborne 2, Bloodborne 2. Oh my god, this looks like Bloodborne 2. And I was just like, this doesn't look like FromSoft's best work, actually. Like like after coming off Elden Ring, and Night Rain, which uses like a lot of the visuals and the assets from Elden Ring. Like I thought this was like a notable visual downgrade. I was like, this does not impress me.
I have a theory. I think this game was meant for the Switch 1 and it got pushed back and delayed for Night Rain.
I would, if that gets
And
confirmed, I would like to know about that, because I thought this trailer all in all was just kind of bad. I know that might be a hot take, and I'm sorry, but like that shit did not impress me. Like
no,
that is
I
like,
think
of all of the things that is not a selling point for me for this console from that showcase, I don't give a shit about the
yeah.
Duskbloods.
Yeah, I think this was meant for the Switch 1. I don't think this was meant for Switch 2. And I actually believe that. It does have a lot of the Bloodborne aesthetics to it. I will give it that. But this is also not a single player game. This is a PvPvE game.
Just like Night Rain.
Yep. Um so I'm it's interesting because apparently Miyazaki loves Tarkov. Like that's his favorite game that
Ah,
he
okay,
plays right
that's why
now.
this is happening. He's just
Yeah, that's
scratching a
why he's
personal
doing
itch.
these games because he wants to experiment and make games his own way with those kind of styles of gameplay. So
Fair enough.
that's why this is happening right
You do
now.
you, Miyazaki, but I wasn't
Yeah.
impressed. Night Rain looked significantly better to me than Duskbloods did, and I wasn't even all that
Mhm.
impressed by Night Rain.
Also, it kind of crazy that this is locked to the Nintendo Switch console, don't you think?
Yeah, but it
Um
being an exclusive is absolutely a choice, right?
yeah,
Like,
and
that's a
I
decision.
think the only reason why I think that's happening is I feel like Nintendo might actually be producing this title and like,
Oh,
and that's
it might
why.
be for the first party published by Nintendo.
Yeah, yeah, just like Demon Souls for PlayStation and
Yeah,
Bloodborne. Um and I
could
think
be. Well, I guess time will tell.
yeah, and I think this was a way for Miyazaki to like revisit that Bloodborne art style, you know,
Yeah, that's fair.
for a game. Um
You could have
uh,
upgraded a little bit.
yeah, yeah. I think with the general with the general conversation here about the way that the game looks, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a fidelity update to the game while it's in development, because it is targeted for 2026, only on the Switch 2 as of right now. Um, but yeah, I know that you're a From Software guy. I know those are games you enjoy, so I had to ask you how that made you feel.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
love all those games. This was definitely one of the ones of most I will probably end up maybe dabbling in with Night Rain at one point or another.
Mhm.
I am it's from that initial trailer alone, the Duskbloods is now going to be a super hard sell for me. Like they're
Yeah,
going to have to like really make me give a shit about that game to be interested in it. There's a lot of reasons I am potentially interested in getting the Switch 2. That is not one of them. But that does lead
it's
me
Zelda for
into
me.
yeah, that
Zelda
does lead
and
me
Final
into my
Fantasy.
final question that I would like to ask to end off our episode for tonight. Devin, are you going to be trying to be one of the folks at home getting the Switch 2 on day one?
Um, I need to see how these tariffs affect the console, because the pre-orders are still off right now.
Yep.
Um, I just did my taxes, so I could get it no problem. Um, so I just need to see. It also really, like, I need a confirmed launch lineup as well for the console.
Like
Um,
a hard list. Yeah, a hard list
yeah,
is going to be really important.
hard list, and I need to see what comes out this holiday season, because I still think we're gonna get a 3D Mario this holiday season, because we don't have any games announced for holiday yet for the Switch 2, and
Hmm.
I think a lot of that is being saved for Summer Games Fest, because we know they're gonna have another direct. Hell, they're doing they're doing a whole direct just for Mario Kart World here, like in a week, you know. So
Yeah, it looks like it's going to have a lot to it. But with
yeah.
that being said, I think I'm in a similar boat. If I'm being more frank, though, I think I'm going to just legitimately wait at this point. There's too many
Mhm.
uncertainties revolving around the console, and I'm not necessarily happy with all of Nintendo's decisions that they've made. I
Mhm.
think, like I said, I think the hardware is impressive. I'm not overly excited about everything that they're putting on the launch slate that they've announced so far. I think the console has a lot to prove, and that is going to lead me to wait until um, the 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 community at large has
Mhm.
spoken. And I will be very particular about who I am listening to when it comes to how they review this particular
Yeah.
console.
I'm gonna go to the people that I trust. That's gonna be the
Yeah.
guys at Kind of Funny. That's gonna be DLC Pod, Jeff Kanata, Christian Spicer. Those are two of my favorite insiders right there. And I like, um, we, yeah, just, and like people from Triple Click, Jason Schreier.
Yep.
He's probably one of the most honest journalists out there and reviewers. So, and if it's
Especially in
shit,
the gaming industry, because there's not a lot of super awesome like actual gaming industry
mm-mm,
journalists that are like that try to actually do the work. Gaming journalism is a little dead in my eyes.
yeah.
But folks, we are not going to be getting into our release schedule because we don't need to do that anymore, and we're not live streaming, so that's not really something you guys need to be worrying about because by the time this is live for you, it's just not going to be pertinent information, and you guys just don't want we're not going to fill it with extra nonsense. This is the one time I'm going to tell you we're not doing that no more. We're just going to be uh, going right on into being like, hey, let us know what you guys thought about the Switch 2 showcase, and if you guys are going to be trying to get that console on day one, or if you are going to be waiting or just riding it out. Because this has been Good Kraken's Death Ratio, your source for all of the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear each and every week. If you like what you heard, you can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/goodcrackenpods, where you can get exclusive content, discounts on merchandise, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services, wherever you like to watch or listen. You can also help us level up our game by joining the GK community on our Discord channel. And god damn it, I forgot to fix the outro one. I'm such a dingus. And then shit fuck. And then, subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Death Ratio and leaving a review there. We got to get going, folks. But until next time.
I'm gonna do my breast.
Damn it.